In this video we're going to cover working with DocuSign templates. DocuSign templates are different to the other templates that we've looked at, where the PDF itself is generated from a FileMaker layout or stored in a FileMaker container field. With a DocuSign template, the template itself is stored within DocuSign and you just reference that when you're sending an agreement. So let's go through the process of setting one of these up. So if we go into the template section, this sample tenancy agreement is a DocuSign template record. So we've included an example that shows you how to work with a DocuSign template. So let's see how this is constructed from scratch. So I'm going to just delete this DocuSign template ID because that's my ID, not your ID. And you can see we've stored a JSON file in this container field, and that's been downloaded from DocuSign, and that's how you can share DocuSign templates from one account to another. So I'm just going to save that to the desktop and jump over to my DocuSign account. So here I am in my sandbox account, so I'm just going to go up to templates and I'm going to create a new template, and I'll say I'm going to upload a template, and I'm going to choose that JSON file that I'd just exported from FileMaker, and that's going to import and create the template for me. So this is a good way with how you can share templates. So I'm just going to walk you through how this has been set up. So you can see I've got two recipients here, a tenant and a landlord. These are what are called the template roles, and they only apply to DocuSign templates. You can ignore these for your other FileMaker layout and PDF container field templates. So I've created the same roles over here. So let's just go and edit this template. And you can see here I've created the roles. So role number 1 is the tenant and role number 2 is the landlord. So I've got those same roles over here. So let's just go next. And here's the template itself. It's just a simple one-page PDF file. And you can see there's some different colored coding tabs here, or fields. So the yellow ones, the tenants, and the bluey ones, the landlords. And you can switch between these here. So if I'm on the tenant menu here, that means any tabs I add in yellow are going to be for the tenant, and if I was to switch to the landlord role, any tabs I add would be in blue and they would be for the landlord. So I've created a sign here, a text field, and a date signed field, and I've recreated those for each role. So the idea is that when you send this template to the tenant, they'll be able to fill in the yellow fields, and it'll then be sent to the landlord and they'll be able to fill in the blue fields. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is click into the URL and get the DocuSign template ID, and it's this big long string of letter numbers. It's like a FileMaker UUID that's found after the prepare-template part of the URL. So I'm just going to click in there, scroll to the end of that UUID, which is here, and then just copy that and go over here and paste that into the DocuSign template ID field, and that's ready to go. So it's important to note you don't need to go and add the same tabs in FileMaker. We've already created those over here in DocuSign. So when we send the template, DocuSign will know all about those tabs because we're telling it to use this DocuSign template. So we don't need to recreate any of those tabs at all. We can just leave the template tab section blank. So let's walk through how this all works in practice. I'm going to go and create a new request for this template, and it's put in my tenancy template. So now I need to go and add some recipients. So I'm going to need to add 2. So I'm going to add Peter as one recipient, and Sally as my second recipient. So I want Peter to be the tenant. In this case I'm going to choose him as the tenant role, and Sally, she's going to be the landlord. So Peter's the tenant, he's recipient number 1, and Sally's the landlord, she's recipient number 2. Okay, so we're all ready to go, so let's just go and send that request, and it should go to the first recipient, which is Peter in this case. So I've got access to both their emails, so I'm going to go and jump over here, and here comes the first email from DocuSign. So I'm going to go and click that, and let's go and sign this agreement. Okay, so I'm just going to continue here, and you can see because I'm the tenant, I can only fill in these fields here. I can't fill in any of the landlord ones. So I'm going to sign as Peter. I'm going to type in my name. That's a required field. So Peter Stevenson, and the date signed is an automatically field, so I don't need to edit that at all. So let's click finish, and we'll say no thanks. Okay, so DocuSign will now send that. I'll just close all that off. It'll now send it off to the landlord, and I've got access to the landlord's email too, so I'm just going to go and check my email, and here comes the landlord one. So let's go and sign that one so you can see it's going to Sally. So we'll go and review that document, and this time I'll only get access to the blue fields that we saw earlier, which are on the right hand side. So as the landlord, I can see that Peter's already signed this, so I just need to do my bit and sign it as the landlord. So I'll put in my landlord name, and once again the date signed is an automatic field. So that's done, so I can click finish, and no thanks once again, and let's just switch back to FileMaker, and I know that request has been completed, so let's we can get the status of that request just to double check, and it's been completed. So now I can go and download the signed PDF, and that's come through, and if we preview that we can see Peter signed it and Sally signed it as well. And if we were to download the form data for this, we would get both their details as well. So we go. So I can see Peter was the tenant name. He signed it on the 6th. Sally's also signed it on the 6th as well. So that's how easy it is to work with DocuSign templates with multiple template roles.